What are the approaches and methods for valuation of intangible assets? Before I discuss with you as to what are the approaches and methods for valuation of intangible assets, let me give you the good news. Let me give you a good news. And what the good news is? The good news is, as far as approaches of valuation for approaches for valuation of intangible assets are concerned, the good news is these approaches of valuation for intangible assets are same as applicable in case of valuation of other assets or tangible assets. Meaning what? Meaning for valuation of intangible assets also there are only three approaches, and these three approaches are same as we discussed in the context of valuation of tangible assets or valuation of a business. And what these three approaches are? These three approaches are: number one, income approach; number two, market approach; and number three is the cost approach. Need I tell you once again why an income approach is referred as an income approach? And that is because when we are trying to do valuation of an asset using income based information as the basis for valuation, it is known as income approach. In other words, under the income approach, the basis for valuation is income, and that is why it is known as income approach. In case of market approach, basis for valuation is market information, and that is why it is known as market approach. And in case of the cost or the asset approach, the basis for the valuation is the information about the cost of the asset, and that is why it is known as cost approach or the asset approach of valuation. So remember once again that the approaches for the valuation of intangible assets are the same three: income approach, market approach, and the cost approach as applicable for the valuation of tangible assets. But the methods for valuation of the intangible assets under these three approaches are slightly different. And when I say slightly different, what does it mean? It means the basic theme is still the same, but the broad contours undergo a change in case of different methods for valuation. Say for example, under the income approach for the valuation of tangible assets, what do? We use the income capitalization as the one method, and number two, what we use the discounted cash flow method as the second method under the income approach. In case of the intangible valuation of intangible assets, there is not much application of the income capitalization method for valuation of an intangible assets. That is not used, but what is definitely used is the discounted cash flow method. So discounted cash flow method is definitely is in the base of all the methods of valuation for the intangible assets under the income approach. Now, which are these methods that are used for the purpose of valuation of intangible asset? So the first one is free from royalty. So number one, the first method is free from royalty. Number two, with and without. So it is the name of the method, with and without. Number three is multi-period excess earning method. Multi-period excess earning method. In short, it is known as MEEM. 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 That is your third method. Fourth method is greenfield method. Greenfield method. And the fifth one is distribution method. So these are the five methods under the income approach for valuation of intangible assets. But remember, even though the names of these five methods for the valuation of intangible assets under the income approach are different, but all of them, without any exception, use the discounted cash flow in one way or the other. How does that happen? We will understand as we go from here on. The second approach is the market approach, and under the market approach, again remember, you have a good news. And what is the good news? Good news is as in case of the valuation of business or other tangible asset, in case of valuation of a business, as you will use multiples, same is the case in case of intangible assets also. So for the valuation of intangible assets, Under the market approach, you will definitely make a use of multiples. And number two, you will make use of comparable transactions, and that comparable transaction and for the valuation of intangible asset is also known as company guideline method. Company guideline method. So in other words, please remember, for your understanding very quickly, comparable method, in other words, is also known as company guideline method. And understand why company guideline method is same as comparable company method, because what you are doing under the comparable company method, you are using the valuation of a company as a guideline and using that guideline for the valuation of your target company, and that is why it is also known as a guideline company method. And under the third approach, that is the asset and the cost approach, there are two methods which are used for the purpose of valuation of intangible asset, and that is reproduction method or replacement method. So friends, these are the three approaches and different methods for valuation thereunder for valuation of intangible assets.